Saltburn, playing now on Amazon. I guess it's the newest in the wave of class exploitation movies, um, coming off of things like Parasite, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. What else do you have? The Menu, stuff like that. Well, I guess Parasite had something to say. This one thinks it has something to say or wants to trick you into thinking it has something to say. It's essentially The Talented Mr. Ripley meets Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's done by the same people who did A Promising Young Woman, which I really enjoyed. It was an interesting, more art house take on the Rape Revenge movie with Carey Mulligan. She also appears in this one. This one also has Rosemary Pike in it, and Barry, not Miles Teller. I always forget his name. He was in. He was the Joker in the Batman. He was in the Eternals. I couldn't tell you who he played in the Eternals. I remember he was in it, but I can't remember shit about that movie. He was in Killing of a Sacred Deer, which was a movie I really liked. He's a great actor. I don't think he was miscast in this movie. I think he was too old to play this part, though. He comes off just too old to play this character. In the only difference in I guess, Violent Night also could work in the Classploitation series as well. There is a Clockwork Orange vibe to it in how it moves and its style. Beautifully shot, opulent. Saltburn is the name of this palatial estate in England. And again, the movie is essentially just The Talented Mr. Ripley. You have this young guy who we believe comes from a bad family. He's poor, and he wants to be part of this world. And he meets this young man who has everything, and becomes obsessed with him. This obsession becomes love, or is it? And then he invites him to his family's estate, Saltburn, and you meet all these people and these eccentrics and these weirdos who are all disconnected, and they're making small talk with each other because they're bored. And, you get into the movie and you go, okay, is this going to be... The way it was leading up, I'm like, all right, this is either going to be like a Ready or Not situation, if you saw that one, or... Most Dangerous Game, or like I was even getting a little bit of a Dinner with Schmucks for a while there with Steve Carell. When you finally do get to what the twist is, it's not really a twist because I guessed it like an hour in. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is where they're going. And then when they finally do that little montage at the end, you go, okay, you don't think your audience is smart enough to understand what's going on here. And that took me out of the movie a little bit. I do like him completely nude, almost his Caligula dance through this house, and the way the camera moves and the colors and the depth of field, everything is beautiful, and the use of the strobe lighting and everything, and the music and the score and everything mixed together. It gives you this idea of drowning in desire, basically. Someone who so badly wants to be part of this world. It is like the feeling of falling in love or trying to impress somebody. You're working so hard to hang on as you're being swept away into this thing. And that is palpable in this. That works for me. But when you finally get to the twist, it's like, okay, well, it's not the rich who are the bad guys. It's not the poor who are the bad guys. It's just the bad guy is the bad guy, and he's doing it because he's a selfish piece of shit, Then you have like the scenes that everybody's been talking about. You have the bathtub scene where where he's watching the dude he's lusting after jerk off into the tub. So when the guy leaves, he laps up the bottom of the tub, or you have him eating out the girl who's on her period. You have him fucking the grave after the guy dies. Like, you have all these things in it. But it all feels like shock value for the sake of shock value. It never felt it feels like the movie has to stop to do that thing to get you back invested again. And in that, I felt like the main focus of the movie at the end is diluted. I love his line though, where he says to Rosemary Pike's characters, like, you're all you live in a world belly up where you don't have any natural predators until now, and it's like, well, this isn't the rich taking from the poor. This isn't Joker. This isn't anything like that. You're not Robin Hood. You're a selfish prick. And in the end, like as vapid and disconnected as this rich family is, they're the good guys, really. Like, it comes to someone who's, they always say about catfish. They call them catfish because it's the salmon. They'll like sit still when they transport them, and they'll put a catfish in there so they keep swimming, so they survive the trip to wherever they're going to. What I thought we were getting from this guy who was coming from a different background was that he was that catfish. He's stirring up something in these people who just, they drink, they fuck, they do drugs, they have everything, they don't feel anything. And then you go, okay, you drop this guy into it, and then it makes them feel something, but in the end, he really wasn't feeling anything. Even his lust and his desire and his love for this guy was all part of the ends to the means. So in the end, was there anything? And that works. That's what this little montage at the end like undoes a lot of that. So he's like, was I in love? Was I obsessed? Whatever. It's like, no, you were just greedy. And that's the whole point of the movie. So incredibly well made movie. Again, it is, like I've said it twice now, it's the talented Mr. Ripley. It's the same thing. I felt like the script and the visuals don't blend together in this one. So if you're looking for something, if you just want to see the shock value scenes of, the bathtub scene and the fucking a grave and stuff like that, then okay, go ahead. But I feel like its message is muddled, and anyone who's paying attention will guess what's going on much, much sooner. So I thought this was a movie that like tried to be shocking for the sake of being shocking, where it could have been a bit more subdued. And same thing with with A Promising Young Woman. Its ending made me go, oh, all right, well, I don't know about that. So I don't know, maybe it's the writer, because she was supposed to do Zatanna as well, who's my favorite female DC character. So yeah, I went into this one with high hopes because the people have been telling me about all the shocking things. And when I came out of it, all I'm really going to remember about it is the shocking things. So I guess it did its job in that part, but I was less than impressed.